Imagine this. It's a sunny afternoon. The sky is a brilliant blue and the sun is shining brightly, casting a warm glow over everything. The park is bustling with activity. Children are playing, couples are strolling hand in hand, and families are gathered for picnics. The air is filled with laughter and the scent of fresh grass. It's the perfect day to be outside, enjoying the simple pleasures of life. You're at the park, enjoying a picnic, you've laid out a blanket, and your favorite snacks are spread out before you. The sound of birds chirping and the gentle rustle of leaves create a serene backdrop. You take a bite of your sandwich, savoring the moment. It's a slice of paradise in the midst of a busy world. Suddenly, a drone swoops down, snapping your picture. It's unexpected and startling. The drone hovers for a moment, its camera lens focused on you, then it zips away, leaving you bewildered. You look around, wondering if anyone else noticed. The intrusion feels surreal, like something out of a science fiction movie. It uploads the photo of you eating a sandwich to a public database, citing a new law against unauthorized public snacking. Extreme? Maybe. But this is the reality we're facing. The idea that a simple act like eating in public could be monitored and regulated is both absurd and alarming. It raises questions about privacy and personal freedom. But this scenario highlights the fine line between protecting our rights and overstepping boundaries. It's a delicate balance. On one hand, we want to feel safe and secure in public spaces. On the other hand, we don't want to live in a world where every move is watched and judged. The challenge is finding a way to protect our communities without infringing on our personal liberties. We all want safety and security. It's a fundamental human need. We want to know that our loved ones are protected and that we can go about our lives without fear. But at what cost? How much privacy are we willing to sacrifice in the name of safety? These are questions that we must grapple with as technology continues to evolve. But excessive control can feel suffocating, even dystopian. When every action is monitored, it creates a sense of unease. People start to feel like they're living in a surveillance state, where their every move is scrutinized. This can lead to a loss of trust in authorities and a feeling of powerlessness. It's a slippery slope that can erode the very freedoms we cherish. Think about it. Is the government going too far when it monitors your every move, even in the name of safety? It's a question that doesn't have an easy answer. On one hand, surveillance can deter crime and help keep us safe. On the other hand, it can be invasive and oppressive. The key is finding a balance that respects both our need for security and our right to privacy. That's the question we're grappling with, folks, and the answer is far from simple. As we navigate this complex issue, it's important to have open and honest discussions about the role of technology in our lives. We must consider the implications of surveillance and work together to find solutions that protect our rights while ensuring our safety. It's a challenging task, but one that we must undertake for the sake of our future. Let's be clear. Individual rights are non-negotiable. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the right to privacy, these are not just abstract concepts. They are the bedrock of our daily lives, the invisible threads that weave the fabric of our society. Imagine a world where you couldn't speak your mind, where gathering with friends and family was forbidden, or where your personal thoughts and data were constantly monitored. These are the cornerstones of a democratic society. They ensure that we have a voice in how we are governed, that we can come together to discuss and solve problems, and that our personal lives remain our own. They protect us from tyranny, from oppression, from the dark forces that seek to silence dissent and control our lives. History has shown us time and again that when these rights are eroded, society suffers. From a government that wants to control our every thought and action. It's not just about politics, it's about the very essence of what it means to be human. To think, to feel, to express ourselves freely without fear of retribution. Think of these rights as your personal force field, shielding you from overreach. They are your armor in the battle for personal freedom, your shield against those who would seek to diminish your humanity. They empower you to speak truth to power, to stand up and be counted, to make your voice heard in the corridors of power, to challenge the status quo, to push for change when change is needed, to hold those in power accountable for their actions, to live authentically without fear of persecution. Whether it's celebrating your identity, your culture, or your beliefs, these rights ensure that you can do so openly and proudly. Without these rights, we become sheep, lost and directionless, unable to think for ourselves or make our own decisions, blindly following a shepherd who may not have our best interests at heart. It's up to us to safeguard these rights, to ensure that they are not eroded or taken away, because in the end our rights are our power, and with them, we can build a better, freer, and more just world for all. Now before you go full-on anarchist, let's talk boundaries. Even the wildest parties need some rules, right? Societies function because we agree on certain limits. We can't just have people running around doing whatever they want, whenever they want. That's chaos, not freedom. Boundaries, when implemented fairly and justly, ensure public safety, protect individual rights from infringement by others, and maintain a level of order that allows society to function. Imagine a world without traffic lights, without property lines, without laws against, well, murder. Not exactly the utopia we're aiming for, is it? Here's where things get tricky. Finding the sweet spot between protecting rights and maintaining order is like walking a tightrope. Take surveillance, for example. Governments argue that it's necessary to prevent terrorism and crime. But where do we draw the line? Is it okay for the government to access our personal data without a warrant? To track our every move online? To monitor our social media activity? These are questions we need to be asking people, because what starts as a measure to protect us can quickly morph into an instrument of control. Section 5. The high cost of imbalance. Failing to strike this balance has serious consequences. Too much control leads to authoritarianism, where dissent is silenced and individual liberty is crushed beneath the boot of the state. Think, Big Brother, thought police, and a whole lot of no fun allowed. On the flip side, too much freedom without any boundaries can lead to anarchy and lawlessness. It's a free-for-all where the strong prey on the weak and society crumbles. Think Mad Max, but with less leather and more Twitter arguments. Neither extreme is particularly appealing, is it? Section 6. Meeting in the middle. A compromise, not a cave-in. So, how do we find that sweet spot? It's a question that has puzzled societies for generations. The balance between security and freedom, between individual rights and collective safety, is a delicate one. It's not about one side winning over the other, but about finding a harmonious balance where both can coexist. This requires a nuanced approach, one that takes into account the complexities of modern life and the diverse needs of our communities. It requires constant vigilance, open dialogue, and a willingness to compromise. Compromise doesn't mean giving up your core values. It means finding common ground where different perspectives can meet. It's about listening actively, understanding the concerns of others, and working together to find solutions that are acceptable to all parties involved. This process is ongoing and requires patience and dedication. We need to hold our elected officials accountable, ensuring they don't overstep their bounds in the name of security. This means staying informed about the decisions being made on our behalf and participating in the democratic process. Attend town hall meetings, engage in peaceful protests, and use your voice to advocate for policies that respect both security and freedom. Remember, democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires active participation from all of us. We need to engage in informed debate, considering different perspectives and finding solutions that protect both individual rights and the common good. This means being open to new ideas and willing to challenge our own assumptions. It's about fostering a culture of respect and understanding, where diverse viewpoints can be shared and debated in a constructive manner. By doing so, we can build a more inclusive and resilient society. It's about finding that middle ground where we can feel safe and secure without sacrificing our fundamental freedoms. This balance is not static. It evolves as our society changes and grows. We must be adaptable, willing to reassess and adjust our approaches as new challenges and opportunities arise. By maintaining this balance, we can create a society that values both security and freedom, ensuring a better future for all. Think of it as a delicate dance, not a wrestling match. In this dance, each step is taken with care and consideration, ensuring that we move forward together in harmony. It's about cooperation, mutual respect, and the understanding that we are all in this together. By embracing this mindset, we can navigate the complexities of our world with grace and unity, finding solutions that benefit everyone. Section 7. The future of freedom, a balancing act. The future of freedom hinges on our ability to strike this delicate balance. It won't be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and heated debates. But we can't afford to be complacent. We must remain vigilant, engaged, and willing to fight for our rights while acknowledging the need for reasonable boundaries. It's a tightrope walk, no doubt. But with awareness, dialogue, and a commitment to finding common ground, we can create a future where freedom and security coexist, not clash. Section 8. Stay engaged, stay vigilant. This isn't a spectator sport, folks.